the concerns will be more to do with health reasons rather than you not making it. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's it. So like, look, there's no question over having a good career, like making it as a fighter as such, but it's more how are you afterwards, and you know, the long-term effect of that, and is it going to be something where you're not who you could have been when you were 55, 60, like.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. Because
I saw you watching the clip of the elbows.
Yeah, you were coming in, I was like, oh, caught rapping. But so we may as well show everybody what we're talking about. So this is in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
It's EFC, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Extreme Fighting Championship.
Extreme Fighting Championship. So have a look at this. This is a controversial end to your... it's up there on the big screen for us. Talk us through, that's you on the bottom receiving these illegal...
Yeah, like literally, yeah. Well, there's maybe one that kind of clips the ear, which is technically legal, but yeah, they're all like, it's pretty much a textbook. This is what you can't do. It's the worst rule break. Like, it's a silly rule, but there's 12-6 elbows. They're illegal as well. So if you're elbowing directly down, that's illegal. So it's an illegal elbow to an illegal area.
So you can't elbow straight down?
Yeah, technically. Like, if you have...
It's supposed to be kind of sideways or at an angle?
Yeah, it's supposed to have an angle on it. Now, it's a silly rule, but it is a rule still. Like, they haven't got rid of that.
Yeah.
So anything to the back of the head as well is completely, like, that's highly illegal.
If it happens once, you're supposed to get disqualified straight away, or is it like a warning?
Probably get a warning, but he didn't. And then he continued for a long time, and then the referee grabs him and he continues to elbow afterwards as well. But look, I got it. Like, I was conscious at the end of this. I walk back to my corner. I have like this kind of strange feeling of like something really significant has just happened, because I thought I was lifting him, and that I'd like lifted him and spiked him on his own head. So I thought I might have been the one who was in trouble when I walked back over to my corner, because I come to as I'm being like sent back, and I walk over to my corner, and it's like I'm straight back. I'm like, okay, what just happened there?
Yeah.
And they were like, just get your breath. Just, you don't worry about anything right now. You just get your breath. It's all good. And I'm looking over at him, and I'm seeing him getting a good like long talking to, and I'm putting it together. And I feel a little bit like, balance isn't great right now, and a little bit of a swirl in my vision. But other than that, like, cardio-wise, I felt fine. And I was like, wait, I was dominating this. And I'd taken him down, I'd mounted him, and the fight was going my way pretty well before that. So my whole thing was to get it going again. Like, I was like, he's exhausted. I could see it. He was hunched down, and he was like really gasping for air. So I walked back over, and I'm kind of like waving, like being like, don't give him too much time, because I don't want him to fully recover.
But the referee had stopped the fight there, had he?
No. So it went on for...
He did a timeout?
Yeah. Okay. And he was warning him at the time, and it was going to restart. And we actually got put back in position to restart that fight. So it felt as if it was going to restart for about 5 or 6 minutes. Then Graham, the promoter with the EFC, called in, because this was like a closed house fight, so there wasn't a full crowd at it. It was part of the reality show. And he had called it, he basically had a lot more sway in that situation than he would have had it been a normal fight. Yeah. And
he cancelled it.
He basically told the doctor to go in and do a balance test on me and to rule it out. Yeah. So the doctor came in, where are you, what day is it, whatever. I was extremely I can still remember all of this perfectly, and as soon as besides the little 10-second window of getting elbowed, that whole day, everything beforehand, everything afterwards is all there. And even the next few days felt great. It's very strange. Head trauma is a real weird thing, because you can't quantify it. I've seen guys get one, half-decent hit, and they're in a loop, memory-wise, for an hour. Yeah. I was straight back to where I was, and fully cognizant and fully aware, and, afterwards there was an argument of where they landed and blah, blah. I was like, sure, there's 15 cameras here and there's a production crew, we can just look at the fucking footage.
Just on the head trauma things, you said head trauma is a weird thing there. Was that unique to you, do you think? I'm not sure how many people you've spoken to about this, the fact that you remember most of what happened around that.
Yeah, it does seem to be different. Anybody else I know that's ever been in any sort of a similar situation, and even I look at that footage, when I actually saw the video, I was shocked, yeah. I couldn't believe it was that bad, we both got brought to the hospital that evening because I'd elbowed him on the top of the head a couple of times with very similar elbows, so that's why I don't make the 12-6 argument, you know, it's bollocks, to be honest. But I caught him with a few, and he had a couple of little cuts up the top of his head, and we were being brought in, and he was a lot more hazy about what had happened than I was. And I felt completely like, and even they brought me in, they were doing like, yeah, I did a CT scan that night, which is kind of a pointless exercise really, to be honest. But pretty much everything felt very normal and seemed very normal, and then I see it and I'm like, holy crap, that's what happened. Like,
how does that make you feel, having that sort of trait with your head? Because they often say when it comes to boxing, the boxers with the best chin are almost more susceptible to having problems down the road because they don't feel it at the time and they can stand up for longer and take more hits.
Yeah. Again, like, I'm in my late 20s now. I'm doing everything possible to try and ensure that I'm still me in my late 60s, but, you know, it's unacceptable. Like, I'm aware of the risk. I've been brought in, I've been shown, I've researched the risk as much as possible.
Have you? So you've read the
even like
CTE stuff and all that?
Like, it's grim reading, but like...
You made yourself do it, because I'd say a lot of people decide actively that I'm not going to find out about this, I don't want to know about it.
I think right now in the sport there's a culture of you have to know. If you're going to get involved in this, you should know. And even we were all brought in last year and given kind of a concussion conference.
In the Royal College of Surgeons?
Yeah. Which I thought was a great idea. And look, it's not everything. It's not every little detail you should have going into any deciding to have a career in this. But it's definitely a start. And it's an awareness. And it's making people more aware. And that was designed to kind of shock people. It was designed to make you feel like, whoa, God, there are going to be consequences here. And that's a great thing. I think we should be put in that position where it's like you're aware, if you choose this as a career, there's possibly some serious consequences from it.
Yeah, I think, look, so we've covered the concussion story for the last decade.
Yeah, really. I've heard a lot of your stuff on it. Like, and it's interesting. Like, the only thing I see is, like, it's still very, very early in the research stages, like, you know, and why some people seem to be able to take ridiculous head trauma for, you know, fairly sustained periods of time, and some guys header a ball, you know, a couple of hundred times through their career and seem to get dementia. Yeah, it's still very poorly understood. The whole thing is very poorly understood. I've witnessed boxers like who've had styles where they're getting hit in the head hundreds of times every fight. They fight 40, 50 fights and they seem okay in their 60s and 70s. It's a very strange thing, and it seems like we don't have a full understanding of it yet. Like,